Hi all, the second tie-break game, so same time limit, 25 minutes each with 10-second increment per move. Magnus Carlsen playing white. We see e4, e5. We go into the Italian game here with bishop c4, bishop c5, knight f6, black castles a4, a6, c3, d6, pretty standard so far. It's all been seen before in my book. Pretty standard move h3. Quite often here knight bd2 is played. We see d4 immediately. Now knight bd2. Bishop goes back to f1. Okay, now white takes on e5 and plays queen c2. So white's got a pretty solid position, and so has black. Bishop e6, knight c4, putting pressure on the a5 pawn, and actually b4 now to put more pressure on a5. That's taken. So b5, the knight goes back to e3, heading maybe for f5. Takes rook takes a4. We see bishop takes, giving up the dark square bishop. To win a pawn here. This is a tactical skirmish actually, to try and lure the queen away from e4. Let's add a bit to here. It's getting a tense moment. So rook takes, queen takes, knight takes e4. So yeah, black a pawn up here. Rook c1 hitting c6. Engine has it slightly better for white though. There's compensation here, because b5 now, and there's a very cute idea. Black plays an interesting move. Perhaps c5 is given us slightly better for white here. After bishop c4, this is given us slightly better for white. This kind of position, because white's got that outside, they've got that pass pawn. Black's pawn is blockaded. This is slightly better for white, yeah. This position. Black's under great pressure here. We'll take this through. A bit further. Again, white's given us slightly better. Yeah, I know black's like a pawn up, but this is a dangerous pawn. So anyway, we see a radical decision. C takes b5, and there's a tactic here which gives white a potentially nifty advantage to have. Can you see white play in this position? Five seconds. Okay, he gets two pieces for rook with queen takes e4, because if takes, then take here. And if takes here, then we take here. So two pieces for the rook. Yep. It looks as though things are good for white here. You might think, well, can he like defend this pawn? Bishop c5 is then dangerous, because then if the rook moves, we've got knight g5 on f7. This is very dangerous. Queen d7, queen f5. This is a big advantage to white. Queen f6. Yeah, the knight's being killed here, and bishop d6 is coming. So this is horrendous for black. So if we just go back, yeah, black didn't want to defend this pawn. Yeah, because this bishop c5 is quite annoying. We see queen c7 defending f7 immediately, giving up b5. So bishop c5 here, I think, well, actually black's got rook d8 in this position. That would actually be winning for black, because white has to go into a self pin. This is just winning for black, this position. That's a self pin disaster. We'll just take here. It's simple. Yeah. So we see queen takes b5. And then we get this position where two pieces against the rook. There's quite a lot of maneuvering here. And funny enough, I'm not going to go over every single move. But queens come off at this point. Yeah, knight ge7 was played, which you might think is curious, just volunteering the queen's coming off. Rook f8 is given with an advantage to white slightly, but we see the queen's coming off now. And this forces more exchanges off. Well, because knight takes g6, rook takes e4 is a better version than, well, bishop takes g6 is played, which is a better version for white slightly, technically, the two bishops. And it looks as though maybe white can get the king to hit g7, so there's a lot of manoeuvring. If the king's like weaving its way in to try and attack g7. And the thing is, the engine evaluation, yeah, white drops this pawn here, by the way. But this is like the recommended like top engine move to play king g7 in this position. Well, Houdini here. I think if we try and play this, then king f7 keeps the king out. It's going to be difficult for white to make progress. So yeah, he goes for it with king g6. Bishop f5, he drops at f2 to try and lure the rook away, then check. Now he just wants to get his other bishop to attack g7. But let's see. Actually, there was a point here, sorry, after rook e2, there's a point here where there was a possibility of king f7. And this looks like really dangerous, but I'm not entirely sure that even this... This looks like quite critical. But is it actually winning? It's like a +3, but is it actually winning if white takes these pawns? I mean, there's still some resistance, but it looks like promising king f7 in this position. I'm just not convinced though completely, because the evaluation hasn't changed. It's given us +3. This move is like back to like just over +1, because black is a tough nut to crack here, because he's got some tricks here with his king in the corner. So we see all of this happen, and it's around here that we start to see, hang on, how do we make progress here? h5 is played, which actually is a really good move in this position. Now the point is, if g5, we just take here, and h4, and this is definitely on the drawish side. So after h5 takes f5, this is a very clever stuff now to force a draw, because the bishop is not of the right colour here. Fundamentally got a king in the corner scenario where the king's not going anywhere. Even g6 is actually drawing, as well as what was played, g5. So h takes g, stalemate, draw. Sorry, not stalemate here. After g5, yeah, sorry, stalemate here, yeah, there's no move, yeah, the king's cutting off g8, h7, it's stalemate, draw. So yeah, that was quite dramatic. The two bishops against the rook in game 2. Yeah, as I mentioned, the key improvement, which seems to be like +3, was around here. This opportunity to play in this position after in king f7 when the bishop was attacked. It's worth investigating that anyway, or yeah, checking with table base. There's quite a few pieces here. I'm not sure. I'm entirely sure if it might be in table based territory. But anyway, that's worth investigating. Yeah, anyway, a resourceful draw from Sergey there in game 2. Comments, questions, likes, appreciated. Thanks very much.